All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the NAU Country Connection webinar today. It is going to be featuring loss estimators, notice of loss submissions, claims alerts, and claims trackings. We are going to be utilizing multiple systems today, including EasyWriter Pro, our agent portal, and our mobile devices. One thing that's cool about this webinar is that there are a lot of aspects that affect both our agents and our farmers. So as we go through, I'm only going to demonstrate a certain function in one system, but I'll make sure to point out all of the different places it's available and who it is available to. Speaking of, my name is Hope Floberg. I am VP of IT Marketing and Training, and I'm excited to have you guys here today. We are going to get started right off the bat because we have lots to cover today. So first of all, just a couple important meeting reminders that I want to talk to everybody about is please make sure your phones are muted. Also, you may have a lot of questions after the call today. Hopefully not too many, but a few things from clarification, from a clarification standpoint. We do ask that you reach out to your marketing representative with any of those questions. They are the experts in all of these areas and will be able to help you out. Video recording is being made of this webinar today, so you are being recorded. All the training material and the video recording will be sent out after the call today. It usually takes us about a day to get that turned around, but you will be getting that as well. And then last but not least, this is our 5th NAU Country webinar connection call. We do have a few more planned out. The next one next week is on PRF. It's really all encompassing, talking about 2021 changes and any system changes as well and system functionality. So make sure to sign up for that one if you enjoy this call today. All right, we are going to jump right into our agenda. So first of all, we are going to talk about how to sign up for direct deposit, how to get your farmers into the direct deposit system. This is key for them to get a fast claim payment turnaround. So we want to make sure you know how to get them that paperwork and get them signed up. We're also going to be talking about our loss estimators. We call these our what if indemnity scenarios. It gives you the ability to go out and play around with some numbers to see, what will generate an indemnity for your insured. We're going to actually take that piece, those 3 systems, and move it to the end of our training today. So those who are maybe out west who don't have crops that are revenue-based crops, they don't have to sit through that part of the system. So we'll talk about that last today, but it's an awesome, awesome piece. So hang tight if that affects you. We'll talk about notice of loss submission in addition to companion notice of loss submission. We're going to talk about the claim notifications and alerts that we have in our system. We're going to show you how to sign up for them and then really what they look like and how they notify you. And then we'll also talk about claim tracking, our different reports that are available, and all of the different ways you can financially self-service your insureds. All right, we're going to get out of the agenda piece here, and hopefully everybody is seeing my EasyWriter Pro screen. I'm actually going to start off by going and looking at our website. So first and foremost, as I talked about, having the direct deposit available to your insureds is key for a seamless and quicker claim payment for them. All it entails on your part is getting them the paperwork. So to start off with, I want to show you how you find that, just in case. So it is available in our agent portal. It's also available in the farmer portal. So if they have access to their farmer portal, they can get it out there as well. Now, let's just say you're not real tech savvy and you just want a quick way to access that document. All you have to do is go out to our website at www.naucountry.com, and truly, if you hit the search button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, it'll bring up our search bar. You just need to type in direct deposit. And when you do that, we'll give the system just a second here. Right away, you can see we have the ACH indemnity direct deposit form. If I click on that, the form will come up. I can take this form and I can email it out to my insureds. I can print it, have them sign it while they're in the office. All you need to do from there is send it into our accounting department and it's done. So quick and simple. Just want to show you how to do that from an easy access standpoint. Now, if you're already in the agent portal, you can see I have the agent portal up on the screen here. The step that you would take in here is just going to our company forms, clicking on forms. So on our forms library, you're looking at the ACH indemnity direct deposit form located right here. All you have to do is click on that same document you would have found in the search window. Now that you know how to access the direct deposit form, let's go and find out how to submit a notice of loss. We're going to backtrack out of the agent portal forms page, and we're going to go into our basic agent portal dashboard. On this dashboard, we currently utilize this lower section to submit a notice of loss. We'll just click on the Go button here. However, I'd like to show you how to submit a notice of loss today from our new agent portal. If you come up to the top portion of the screen here and select Agent Portal Beta, that will take you into our new agent portal, which will be live here at the end of October. As the agent portal beta or the new agent portal loads, you can see here it has a different look and feel, but it still covers all of the same information that you used to utilize. To be able to access the notice of loss submission section, we're going to go up to the My Farmers menu option and select the Loss Notice and Claims. And I'm going to type in my policy number here. And the situation that I have set up today, not only do I want to show you just how to submit a notice of loss, I also want to show you a situation where if you have companion policies that are tied to each other, how it's going to trigger you into when you submit a notice of loss on one, it's going to alert you that you also have a notice of loss on a companion policy and allow you to do them all at one time. So I hop in here, I'm going to click on my policy number. And I'm going to come in. And when I come into this claims screen, if I already have a claim or a loss submitted for this insured, it is going to show me my claims detail. And we're going to talk more about this when we get to claims tracking. But again, when you come in, this is going to be your claims window. It's going to display all of your claim information. Again, I apologize about the little bit of a lag here. Okay, so you can see this policy actually does already have a claim that's in an open status, meaning it's been opened, but it has not been assigned to an adjuster or have been worked yet. So we're going to go up and we're going to create a new notice of loss. So I just click this Create Loss Notice button. And once this opens, we'll begin to submit our notice of loss. All right. Okay, once it gets going here, there we go. So from a notice type, I'm just going to go in and generically fill in some information. So I'm going to choose a notice type of a harvest loss. If I only have one county on my policy, you can see it already pre-populated in there for me. Otherwise, I could select my county information. The crop, same situation. If there was only one crop on the policy, I would already have it pre-filled for me, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill in soybeans here. And then obviously type in my cause of loss and then what I intend to do here. So we'll go, we'll leave for cover and then the date of damage. Now down at the bottom, there's additional information. If it's a harvest loss, was it harvested, how many acres, etc. We're just going to leave that blank because we're just doing display purposes for now. So I hit Save Loss at the bottom of the screen. Now what you'll notice over on the side here is that I have a summary of what I'm doing. So it's stating right now I have a harvest loss. If I entered something in incorrectly here, I can just go right back in and edit that, or maybe it's completely wrong and I need to delete it. Those options are up here. Otherwise, I do have the opportunity to add another loss, or I can proceed to submission, and that's what I'm going to do. Here we just have some claim questions, which I'm going to answer as no. Obviously, read through them and answer them correctly. And I'm going to hit proceed at the bottom of the screen. So it's key to know that everything on the left-hand side is really what your action items are, and the right-hand side is your summary to kind of guide you along the way. The claim type information is going to populate in for you just pending on what our system is detecting with your claim. If it's a high dollar claim, that'll be filled in as yes, etc. The contact information is going to pull from your policy and pull it right in there. At this point in time, you can update the policy phone information. If the address is not correct, you do have the ability to, or the email address, you do have the ability to update that as well. All right, down at the bottom, the policyholder submitted notice of loss. As you guys know, the agent needs to have confirmation from the insured to be able to submit a notice of loss. So this is just talking about how you got that information. So the date you received it, was it in the morning, the afternoon, the evening? And then how did you get that information? And I'm going to actually change that to AM, and we'll do email and then submit the notice of loss. So now that I've submitted this information, as I mentioned, this is a companion policy. So in most cases, if it wasn't, what's going to happen is once that submission goes through, it's going to ask me if I want to print the notice of loss off or just be done. In the situation of a companion, it's actually going to notify me and say, you know, hey, you have a companion to this policy. Do you also want to create a notice of loss for them? So again, just a wonderful feature to make sure you're not forgetting about the companion policies when you do this. So I selected yes. And now when I come in here, I can select which companion I want to set up the notice for. Now you'll notice that many of these have the soybean crop that I'm referring to. So maybe I need to do it on multiple people. And that's one core thing to remember is you do need to do them one at a time. Now the system's going to guide you and tell you who, but you do need to do them one at a time in case you have different remarks or different ways of contacting them, etc. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to do set the first one up for Edward Scissorhands here. I kind of took a movie base here to how we're doing our training today. So you come in, now I'm on my companion policy. So what's really cool is it started here for you, but now when I come over, you can see in this summary, it's already begun. All I need to do is hit edit over here, and immediately all of the information from my last claim populates in for you. So now from here, all I have to do is update that information and move through the process. So again, just a really quick way to take all of that entry and speed it up for you. And then of course, since I hit update, I'm just going to proceed to submission, just like the last one. Still need to fill in those questions. And then again, everything's populated for you. I can submit it and go on with my day. This is available in the mobile device. It's also available in EasyWriter Pro, and your farmers, if you choose to have them do so, they can actually go in and submit notice of losses as well on the mobile device and in the farmer portal. All right, okay, so we're gonna move into claims tracking. So I'm actually gonna pull up a different policy here just so we have a little bit more data to work with. So let me pull up another policy. So the claims tracker. In EasyWriter Pro, we call the claims tracker the claims manager. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with it if you utilize EasyWriter Pro. So that will kind of walk you through where is your claim at, you know, what status is it in, has it been paid, has it not been paid. So all of that claim tracking information is also available on the agent portal, the farmer portal, so your farmer can also access it, and it's available on the mobile device. So the cool part with this is if you, again, are on the road and your insured calls and says, what's the status of my claim? Is an adjuster going to reach out to me soon? You can come in here on your mobile device and look up all that information. Or better yet, if they have a farmer account, you can have them look up the information. So I come into this policy here, and you can see on this policy, I have a claim, and I have 3 actually different reported losses on that claim. So this first one up here, you can see has been processed and paid. It's gone all the way through the cycle. The second one was withdrawn, and then the third one has also been processed. So let's dig into some further details. So the first thing I want to point out, just so it makes sense once we get into the details, is if you look at this first claim, you can see that there's already been a calculated indemnity paid on the claim. close to $6,000. This third one has also been paid as well, and the indemnity paid out was right around $12,000. And the only reason why I point that out is I want it to make sense once we get into the claim details. So I'll show that to you in a moment. So let's hop into the claim details. If you just go over right to the side here and click on claim details, it's going to give us all the information pertaining to this loss. All right. When you come in, so again, it's going to show you your claim status. It's also going to show you the date of damage. Here, you can click on the notice of loss if you wanted to view the notice of loss paperwork. That's available to you. The proof of loss paperwork is also out here. So if, when the check was sent to them, obviously the proof of loss is included in that documentation. If you had questions on any of the calculations or how it worked, that is available for you to view here. And it's also, of course, available to your insured when they're in this window. We have all of the adjuster contact information. So if you do have a question or you need to reach out, that is at your fingertips right here. And then the other information really lays out all of the details of the claim for you. So this is, of course, telling us that, this was we had loss on the corn. You can see here the date of damage for that, and then what the calculated indemnity was. And then looks like we have kind of a repeat down here as well. Now, over on the right-hand side, excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat. On the right-hand side, we have the payment and credit information. And this is where I kind of pointed out on the previous screen. I wanted you to look at both of those losses because this is truly the claim as a whole. So even though this loss only had the calculated indemnity of $9,000, you can see over here that the total indemnity for that claim is $18,030. And then if you look at the dates on the side here, you can see on July 31st that we cut a check to that insured in the amount of $5,959. And then you can also see the dates that the credits were applied to their policy. So any information that they may ask, maybe they're asking, why didn't I get an $18,000 check? Here you can come in here and you can say it looks like a credit was applied to your policy. However, your check was cashed on, or your check was sent out on July 31st. Now, my favorite part of this window is the adjuster call log. And I'm sure you guys get numerous calls from your insureds, hopefully not too many because hopefully we're on top of our game and the insured is always in the know. But in case an insured calls you and says, maybe I haven't heard from my adjuster yet, or what's going on, if there's a potential delay, what could be happening. The adjuster call log is actually in here for you to look at anytime. So you can see here that this adjuster, AJ Uster, actually contacted them on September 3rd. You can see here that the comment is an appointment was set up. So you have that information to be able to provide excellent customer service back to your insured. Now, two pieces I want to point out here because it's leading us into the next part of the training is this payment credit information of when a payment was paid to your insured is available as a mobile notification to you. So if you sign up for a mobile notification to find out when indemnity was paid, anytime a payment was made on one of your insured's policies, you would get a mobile notification stating this is who was paid, and that allows you to call your insured and say, hey, I just heard that a check is on its way, be looking in the mail, etc. The second alert that we have available to you is the adjuster call log. So anytime an adjuster has made contact with your insured or even left a message for them, if you sign up for that alert, you'll get a notification. So hey, adjuster A called and left a message with the insured. You can follow up with the insured and say, hey, did you get that message? Just want to make sure, that you're receiving those calls. So those are two really great features. The third alert that we're going to talk about today is the notice of loss alert. So as I mentioned, the capability for your insureds to be able to go out and submit their own notice of loss is available on mobile and farmer portal. And I know some people don't love the idea of farmers doing that. So it's up to you if you want to share that information with them. For me, moves the process along faster, so all the better. But again, we want to keep you in the know. So if you sign up for that alert, anytime your farmer goes out and sets up a notice of loss on their policy, you would be alerted. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to just take 2 seconds here. I'm actually going to set up something called a reflector. And that just means it gives me the capability of showing you guys my cell phone. And so we're going to just get that set up. We'll do that, and hopefully you'll be seeing my cell phone here in just a moment. Okay, we'll get that off of there. Okay, so right now I am actually already in our system and I'm logged in as an agent. So right off the bat, the first thing I want to point out to you is you have this little notification bell at the top of your screen. So this notification bell right now is telling me I actually have 2 notifications available to me. Prior to even getting that far though, let's go over and click on this ellipse button, because this is how you get set up. So I'm going to click on the ellipse button and I'm going to go down to settings down here at the bottom of the screen. So we go into settings, and then to get set up, and again, you only need to do this one time. You click on user preferences. First, you have this select user option at the top. Now, of course, you're an agent. Why would you have to do that? Well, some of our agents have multiple people with the same username. And so because of that, sometimes we need to go in and say, I am agent A, this is my cell phone, assign the alerts to me. So I'll come in here, and normally if I clicked on that, it could potentially have a listing of multiple agents if we're sharing a login. In this situation, it's just me, Hope, so I'm making sure I'm signed up. And then you can see here, we have indemnity paid notifications. We have the claims contact log. That's if an adjuster contacts your insured, that's where that comes in. And then we have the notice of loss added, meaning somebody submitted a notice of loss that's assigned to your policies. So that being said, these are normally going to be off. I have them turned on. You just tap on them to turn them on, and they'll turn on right away for you. Now, our notifications are set up to work in, like, some of them are 15-minute increments, some of them are half-an-hour increments. So there is a little bit of a delay. So once we are set up to receive those notifications, you can go out, and obviously I'm going to show you now what they look like. Another key thing is, if you feel like you're being bombarded with notifications, you can go in and shut them off at any point in time. So the first thing that I do, like I mentioned, I want to show you here real quick, is that bell, because that's what they look like when you come into your app. Now, once a notification comes through, I'll give you an idea of what it looks like here on your lock screen. All right, as you can see here, I have 2 up on the screen. One is for that adjuster contact log, and the other one is for the notice of loss submission. You can click on one of those to go right to the message, or if you're already in the NAU Country mobile app, which we were before, I'm just going to backtrack here, and we're going to go into that notification bell at the top of the screen. As I select that, here are those 2 messages again. The top one is the adjuster contact log. Let's select that just to see what it has to say. Here at the top of the screen, I'm just going to scroll in a little bit here. It is going to show you the policy number, the claim number, and the insured name that an adjuster has left a contact note on their claim, so that you're able to see who it is, go into that policy, and be able to follow up on that note. I'm going to back out of that here. You can also see I can delete this once I've taken care of looking at that alert. It can be deleted. Otherwise, I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to go to the second one here. On this one, you can see the policy number is right up on the screen, but I can click on it for further detail. All right, once that loads up on my screen, you can see here, I'm just going to expand it just a little bit, that the following notice of loss was submitted. I have my policy number, my claim, and my insured information. So again, I'm able to take that information and follow up. So these claims alerts are an excellent idea to sign up for. They're always going to keep you in the know. Now, once you're done looking at them, I showed you how to delete them before, but you can also scroll or just kind of tap them and move it over to the side and hit the delete option here. One thing I should note is that the notice of loss is also sent to the agent of record on a policy anytime a farmer submits a notice of loss. So you would get an email automatically as well. All right, and now we're going to go into EasyWriter Pro, and I want to show you how you can self-service your farmer out of EasyWriter Pro to show them the same information that we just went over in the agent portal in the claims detail. So we're going to start by going into EasyWriter Pro, and we'll go up to the accounting menu, and way down at the bottom here we have a View Financial Account Data Agency option, which we'll select. When that comes up on the screen, you can key in your policy number. And then once your account information appears, you can hit OK. And this window is not only going to be great to be able to allow you to show disbursement information for claims and to be able to help you provide customer service to your insured that way, but it also is going to give you all accounting information for your insured. So basically this summary tab, first of all, is going to show you everything pertaining to this account or this policy. It'll show you the gross premium, subsidy, net premium, loss recovery information, payments, and balance due. If you can see here, this policy right under the MPCI Livestock Indemnity section is the policy that we were working with over in the agent portal. As you guys recall, the total indemnity there was $18,030. Our credits were $12,071, and the check that we issued was $5,959. To get even more information or more detailed information, we can go up to the Disbursements tab at the top of the screen and click on that. Here you can see that same policy number. And here, again, it goes into more detail. It's going to tell you that check amount, the date that the check was authorized, etc. If I double click on this line, it'll actually open up the voided check for me, so I'm able to see what was sent out to my insured. Now, another core piece in here that I just want to point out to you is you truly can look up billing statements in this window. You can look up any types of financial documents that were sent to your insureds in case you need to send something out to them again or if they have questions on it. Now, another item that I want to point out at the top of the screen is under the status section. As you recall, at the beginning of our training, we talked about direct deposit. If you're ever questioning if your insured is signed up for direct deposit, you can come right into this window as well. And right here where it says direct deposit, that will tell you if they're signed up to get a direct deposit indemnity check. We did have a question on the call earlier today, is if my insured does get direct deposit, will they actually receive a proof of loss still in the mail? And the answer to that is yes. They will receive a proof of loss in the mail, and they will all receive a blank check just for their records. That is the financial account viewer. Let's change our track a little bit. We're going to go into the loss estimator information. So doing so, what I want to do is we're going to build on different scenarios. So first of all, let me start out by explaining what are the loss estimators and what do they do. So as I mentioned earlier, they give you the ability to utilize these tools just for analyzing different what if indemnity scenarios that our insured could potentially have. So the first tool that we have is the most simple tool. So what I'm going to do is on our current agent portal, the one that's right here, we're going to go down to the agent tools and we're going to click on more. Now this same tool is going to be available on our new agent portal under the resources option. So it's even a little bit easier to find. I just don't have it out there yet, so can't show you yet. So we'll do revenue loss trigger yield worksheet. And when I click on that, because I'm in Chrome, and I think this is key to point out, Chrome always opens documents in the little lower part of your screen. So I'm going to go down, grab that, and I'm going to open it. And really what's nice about this tool is that it's not policy-based. So maybe you're working with a prospect and you just want to show them some of the tools that we offer. You can use this on anybody. It can be very generic, but we're going to build off of each situation. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to enable the spreadsheet to be able to work with it. So first of all, let's start by filling in our information. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to fill in a commodity of corn. I'm going to work in Illinois. This is all forward typing. So if I would have typed in an I there, it would have brought me right to the I's in the drop-down list. The plan, we're going to do a revenue protection plan, non-irrigated. We'll do grain. And then because I'm using a specific scenario, you have the ability here to enter in your APH start and end. I'm actually going to start us quite a bit higher. I'm going to start us at a 203 yield, end at 230, and I want to go in increments of 1. Now you can change that to 5, whatever you want to look at. Now that's the parameters. Over at the top here is where our base price will automatically fill in. This pulls from our revenue prices page. Anything that's been completed will pull in automatically for you. So the base price is at $3.88. I'm going to come in here and key in a harvest price at $3.08. Once you've done that, I can just come down to the bottom and hit calculate. And this, just like the spreadsheet says, it is going to give you your loss trigger yield for that scenario. So you can see here on the left, I have all of my APH information in increments of 1 because I chose increments of 1, starting at 203, going down to 230. And then it's showing me all of the different coverage levels and what my loss trigger yield would end up at each of those different coverage levels. So let's look at the 203 and the 80%. So you can see here it comes in at the 204.6. I'm a calculation girl, so I'm just going to show you basically looking at the calculations, which I'm pulling over here on the screen. How do you calculate a loss trigger yield for revenue protection? It's going to be the higher of your approved yield and coverage level, which if I look at 203 times 0.8, that gets me to the 162.4, or it's going to be the approved yield times the coverage level and then times the base price divided by the harvest price. So you can see here is the calculation, that 388 divided by the 308, that gets us to the 204. So can you hand do each situation? Absolutely. Is this an awesome tool for figuring it out really quickly? Yes. So you can see here that that matches up completely. Again, come in here, play around with it. It's an excellent tool to get you to that information. All right, so we're going to take this situation and we're going to build on it. So this, again, generic, not policy-based. You can use it to play around with about anything. Now, the next tool that I want to show you, that's also one of our loss estimator tools, is available. So let me close out of here. This is where I need to go into my agent portal beta to show you. So let's pull that over. So here's my agent portal beta screen. I'm going to pull up a policy in here. Now this tool is available for both you and your farmers. So your farmers can come out here and play with this tool that I'm going to show you as well. And one of the coolest parts is it's available on your mobile device as well. So if you're just kind of out talking to your insured in the field, you can actually show them this in the field, which is really cool. So I'm going to come out and then I'm going to pull up a policy. The screen that I'm going to pop up on is actually our documents page. So it will show you all documents that have been generated within the EasyWriter Pro system. Another way that you can get to the window that I'm going to show you is you could do My Farmers and Farmers and type in their policy and go right to their policy data, which is actually what I'm going to do. I was just kind of doing a little workaround so I could hide a little bit of privacy information. So now I'm going to click on the policy. But again, this is all the documents generated in EasyWriter Pro if you ever want to access them out on the agent portal. Once the policy opens, again, it's laid out just like EasyWriter Pro. So this first screen is truly our policy editor screen. Here are our coverages for the policy. We're going to look at corn in particular. And again, we're going to look at the 80% coverage level. Now, just like EasyWriter Pro, we have the tab for policy crops, and then we have a tab for acreage APH. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to list out all of my units for me. Has all the important dates for each unit, I'm going to peek at the Aph Database Info first. So we're going to click on the RP unit link here, and this is going to give us all of our APH information for this unit in particular. And what I wanted to show you in here is just that the approved average on this unit is the 203. So if you remember from our last example, we were looking at the trigger yield for a yield of 203 and a coverage level of 80%. So I'm just really showing you here that this is mimicking what we just did. Now, to be able to play around with that price and indemnity information, we're going to click on prices and indemnity. I'm going to come in here. Right off the bat, it's telling me that my trigger yield is 162.4. It's utilizing that approved average in the coverage level because it doesn't know what the estimated harvest price is yet. So I'm going to come in here and key in the estimated harvest price at 308. So obviously, you know, by this time you would have an idea in your mind of maybe your harvested production and what your yield came in as. So you can actually come in here and key that in if you know it. So I'm going to type in a 150. Or in a situation where you're truly just playing and you want to look at kind of an average number, you can just click on this box. The other thing that's nice about utilizing this box here is that in a situation of enterprise units or optional units, it'll actually take the average yield of all of those units when you click this box, and that's what it utilizes to be able to play around with some of these indemnity estimates. All right, I know I'm talking fast. So basically, I put in a yield of 150. I've entered in a harvest price of 308. As you can see down here at the bottom, it's key to remember all of this is just an estimate of potential loss only. No guarantee of loss payment. We're just playing around. I come in here, I hit calculate. And when I do that, it's going to give me my last trigger yield. This number probably looks familiar of 204.6. And then it's going to give me my estimated unit indemnity. And it's also going to give me my estimated coverage indemnity. And you'll see this number matches this number, and it's because I've only worked on one unit. Now, in a situation of enterprise units, this number will obviously give me this unit in particular. The coverage indemnity will give me as a whole and what that indemnity will be. So now, again, available mobile, agent portal, farmer portal, insureds can access this as well. But I want to build even a step further, and I want to validate this indemnity amount. Now what I want to do is show you the loss revenue estimator in EasyWriter Pro. So as an agent, this is our third option for you to be able to do loss estimates. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to utilize our quick links, and I'm going to pull up our revenue loss estimator. And this is a different way of looking at the same information. So we're going to come in here and I'm going to type in that same policy number that we just used. Okay, so here we go. So I'm pulling in my policy. Now, one cool thing about the revenue loss estimator is you can actually do this on a batch level. So if you wanted to do it for all of your policies under your agency, you could pick agency code, type in your agency code, and be able to look up all of your policies and be able to run this for them. So here's my policy information. As you guys saw before, it has corn and soybeans on it. I'm just going to run corn just for the simple fact of time. And then I'm going to come down, and just like we did on the other two screens, I'm going to change the harvest price to that 308. Once the harvest price has actually been released, you will not be able to alter this in here, but because it has not been released, we can still come in and play with some of those numbers. So I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to hit preview. One thing that's cool about this report is it's actually called Revenue Loss Estimator and Production Report. So if you already have all of your production from this year entered or in your mind, you can actually come in here and fill in your production in here, your production type code, and this is set up to work as a production report as well. So there's signatures on the back page. It can be kind of a dual use document, which is excellent. So I want to look at this top unit first, and I want to show you here that this takes all of the data we've been playing with and really puts into where you could print this out and actually write in the numbers where these highlights are and be able to play with those numbers to see what your potential revenue loss would be. Again, there's a disclaimer at the bottom that states, this is only an estimate, but I want to walk through this calculation with you real quick. So I already have the calculation done. So what I did, so we could match up with that last screen that we were on, that prices and indemnity screen, is I actually kind of back calculated to figure out what our harvested production would be if we had a 150 yield. So looking at this harvest production field here, if I would fill in that 9,555, and then I would take that times my harvest price of 308. You can see here that my harvest value would come in at 29,429. Now you take this value and you subtract it from your total guarantee, which is the 40,138.13, and then you times it by your share percent. And if you utilize all of the numbers that we just talked about, you can see here that the potential revenue loss would come in at $5,354. And that matches exactly what we had on this screen as well. Any of these systems are going to be able to be utilized for the same purpose and give you the same results. It's just a different means of how you want to do them. But this is a really valuable tool. And again, the fact that you can report your production on it, what could be better? We have an excellent tips and tricks available out on our website for you to be able to walk through all of these systems if I went a little bit too fast for you. A couple things I'd like to leave you with before we end this session is the two reports in EasyWriter Pro. One is in the dashboard under the claims section, and it's titled Recent Activity. This report is going to show you any of your insured's claims that have recently moved from one status to another, meaning maybe you had an open claim that has now been assigned to an adjuster in the field, or a claim has recently been paid. If you click on that link right up at the top here, it's going to show you that information. The other item is in our report center, and it's titled Recent Claims Activity. When you go to run this report, your filter is going to give you a date range for you to be able to enter in from this date to this date. I'd like to see any of my insured's claims that have moved a status. And again, just the statuses I had just mentioned. A couple great reports that are available in the system to you. And then last but not least, I'm going to pull back over our new agent portal. All of the items that we went over today have training resources. So if you go under training, we have a tips and tricks section within our website, which I'm going to click on. And here you can see we have the claims training suite, which you can click on, and that's going to allow you to be able to access this webinar that you are listening to today. It'll also show you how to find those direct deposits. Here's your loss estimator information, notice of loss submission, and those claim alerts, so you know how to set those up and how often you'll receive those notifications. And then, of course, our claims manager tracking as well. So great stuff in here. Make sure to check it out. Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope that you'll join us for connection calls in the future. Have a great day.